where do you see technology like in the last 20 years? How do you see how far have we come? And do you see a missing piece of the puzzle that still exists in the overall tech ecosystem?
Yeah. I don't know if there's a technology piece that's missing. I mean, like you said, there's been so many amazing advancements over the years.
Right.
I still think we struggle communicating with each other to actually deliver the software. I mean, I've been doing it, like you said, for a long time now, about 20 years.
Right.
I've been on great projects. I've been on not so great projects. And I think it really boils down to how well that we can communicate with our stakeholders and the businesses that we're working for. There's still a lot of ego out there.
So what is the best leadership advice you've ever received or you want to share with anyone?
Best leadership advice.
Because I'm sure you're working with teams and people look up to you, and there are a lot of like misconceptions and things like that. And how can
be kind?
Right. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Be kind. Right. Yeah. Beautiful. I love that. It's rarely it comes across as a leadership advice, because leaders. There's a lot of like it's become a cliche word. I'm a leader, XYZ, right? So anyway, that's good. I love that.
I'm sure I had an ego when I was younger. Letting go of that and just having fun with what I do, regardless of how, I don't know, crappy the project is or fun, or if it's an old technology, new technology. I just honestly try to have fun and make it fun to the teams that I work on. I just want everybody to have a good time, because ultimately none of this is really that serious. I mean, people might get serious about it. They might have millions of dollars on the line, but when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, none of this really matters that much. So why not have a good time while we're here and just do your best work?
Hey everyone, welcome to Pathfinders. Today on the show, we welcome a visionary technologist whose work bridges the gap between elegant code and meaningful impact. Jake Bruun is a software architect, engineering leader, and the founder and CEO of Evented, spelled EVNTD. Go check out evented.com. We'll bring it up in a minute. It's a consultancy that helps teams and organizations transform complexity into clarity through event driven systems, visual modeling, and hands on delivery. Deep expertise in the .NET ecosystem, cloud platforms, and the full product lifecycle. Jake has led cross functional teams through some of the most demanding challenges in tech with precision, resilience, and heart. But beyond the lines of code, Jake is a translator of ideas. He turns intricate technical concepts into actionable understanding, guiding stakeholders, mentoring developers, and architecting systems that don't just scale, they serve. His approach is deeply human, empowering people, uplifting teams, and solving hard problems with humility and mastery. When he's not elevating software systems, he's crafting artisan pizzas and brewing up community, literally and metaphorically. Join us as we unpack his journey, wisdom, and the soulful engineering that underpins a life of purpose and performance. Jake Bruun, welcome to the Pathfinders, my friend. It's an absolute pleasure to sit down with you today.
Thank you, Vijay. This is awesome. Thank you for having me on.
No, absolutely, man. Can you please tell us about your journey in your own words, please?
Wow. Yeah. So let's see here. I knew I wanted to get into programming in 1985 when I received my first, the Nintendo Entertainment System.
There you go.
I was glued to it, and I knew that's what I wanted to build in the future. Jumping forward a bit, I got into programming and first tried to make games, and I was successful at creating a couple like games for myself for like school projects and things like that. But then I quickly realized that I don't want to do that as a living.
Right.
So yeah, I got into computers, I'd say in the early 90s. So a little bit later than a lot of folks. Actually, I really got into programming when I was in my first CAD class, computer-aided drafting.
Yeah.
And it was fun to draw pictures of houses and machine parts, but I had way more fun writing AutoLisp inside AutoCAD.
Mm-hmm.
And my instructor at the time noticed that. And while we didn't have any sort of programming class in school, he set one up for me and a few other students. And after completing that, when I was in high school, I started going to Oregon Institute of Technology to learn C, and then went there for my undergraduate as well.
Right. How did it all start? Like, how was your? When did you make that decision you want to get into technology? Even before that, how was describe your like childhood? Like, how was your first 10 years like, and how was your 10 to 20, and how before you got into studies and whatnot, into college and whatnot? How was all that?
So I was born in Iowa. Grew up on a farm, actually. So we didn't have a lot of the technology besides the TV, with an antenna. I remember my grandfather going up, having to change the antenna every once in a while if there was a bad storm. But
was it Des Moines? Was it Des Moines? Was it Des Moines, Iowa?
It's about halfway between Des Moines and Omaha.
Omaha, okay.
A small town called Audubon, Iowa.
God, my first place in the U.S. when I visited was Iowa.
Really?
My first work, yeah. I was in West Des Moines.
Okay.
For a good 4+ months there, yeah.
Gotcha. I have family there. Actually, one of my uncles is the chief of police there. So
there you go. There you go. Des Moines. Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt. I got too excited when he said Iowa.
Yeah. So yeah, I grew up in this small town. I think it's about 2,500 people. I lived out in the country, about 2 or 3 miles outside of town, on a 75-acre farm.
Right.
Was there until my grandparents raised me, and they divorced in I think 1989, and then I moved with my grandmother out to Oregon because I had an aunt and some cousins in Oregon, so she wanted me to be close with them.
Right.
They're kind of like my brothers growing up.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, and then, yeah, a lot of the technology, I mean, came across just through like video gaming, to be honest. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, all that.
Mario, that period, right?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't one of the guys with like a Commodore 64 and hacking programs that early.
Right.
I didn't really probably get my hands really too dirty until the internet came around.
Got it. How was your, like, as you were finishing school, what was your thought? Like, what did you want to do? Did you always wanted to get into technology, or like, how was that period? Yes, you are like about to finish school.
I knew right away what I wanted to do. I wanted to do software. I started going to college when I was in high school to do software and continued on doing that. I went to Oregon Institute of Technology because they were very hands-on and not just theoretical. So
Right.
we were writing C, within the first week of class.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of languages. And it was really great, too, because I started in the year 2000 at OIT. And shortly thereafter, Microsoft came out with the .NET framework. So I've been using that since it came about.
Yeah. 2003, I think, or 2002 or 2003.
2002. Yeah, I remember Microsoft coming to the campus with a huge stack of CDs with the Visual Studio on it, .NET. I think it was at 1.1 at the time.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I mean, any software you'd have to install at the time, you need like a bunch of floppy disks. And then CD came in anyway, but crazy period. Yeah.
And,
got it.
Speaking of CDs, during high school, in the early days of the internet when piracy was a big thing, I would download a lot of music, and I bought one of the very first CD burners, and I'd be ripping CDs all the time to sell to students in class. My little entrepreneurial effort back then.
Yeah. No, you remind me so much of like those days. Actually, I did something very similar. I bought CD burners. I didn't sell it, but like I bought CD burners after CD burners. Like I had one CD which was a reader. Then I needed a writer, so I need to write CDs.
Yep.
I kept like 200, 300 stack of CDs because storage was very expensive at the time. We didn't have terabytes of storage back then.
Yep.
DVDs was not a thing at the time.
Yeah.
Blu-ray. So very different period, man. Yeah. It reminds me of like 20 years ago.
Those first CD burners, they were really sensitive. Like if you bumped like or stepped too hard, well, that would ruin the burn.
Yeah, unreal. Wow. Yeah. So you always had that software. You wanted to do programming software, and I think that excited you. From gaming was introduction to technology for you. Yeah, I would say it is similar for me. I did a lot of like video gaming and whatnot, and then got fascinated. For a year, I did a tool and die engineering where you learn like manufacturing and like injection molding and stuff like that. And I was there for a good 1 year. But when I built my first website, I had like probably HTML page, probably in 99, 2000. And but when I was actually finishing school, they somehow, like, my parents thought, okay, maybe you should do mechanical engineering or tool and I. So they put me on a course for a good, it was a 3-year course, but I came out after a year. I said, no, I think I have to do software and computers. And then I went all into computer science and information technology. Started with C programming, like you mentioned. So that was very similar journey for me. It reminds me, takes me back to the same days. It's still fresh in mind. Yeah, but I was doing all that in a different part of the world. Like, I was in India at the time. I was born, brought up in India. I was doing all these similar things in India, in a different part of the world.
Yeah.
But my college was like 4 years of theory and 4 years of practical. Okay. A lot of you learn in the morning and theory, and you do the practical in the afternoon, right? So that was my learning experience. Man, sorry. Yeah, took me back to old memory lane. Okay. So how was your learning experience with? So you pursued like computer science and
Yeah, computer science and math. I've always loved math. I remember being a little kid.
right.
And it was fun for me to go to the store and get like a math workbook. That was fun. I just cruise through there and do all the
Who's
math
this guy?
guy. Yeah, and I continued that like in high school and college as well for electives. I'd take math as electives. I was doing something fun,
My mom, I cannot help but not bring her. She's a math major, right? And in her bachelor's and master's, she scored centums on maths, on all maths papers. And she would roast me to death for every time I get a mark. I was good at math. I was not the greatest at math, but I was good at math. I was that kid. Okay, I was like, I would get the 80s, 85s, like 85 plus percentage, right? I was not the 9900. And my mom is like, she would roast me every time. Come on, like, can't you get this? Like, why did you not get a centum? The only thing she cares about if you get a centum or not. So you bring up math, like, yeah. Anyway, so that's good. So you're math and computer science. Okay, good.
I think computer science, they kind of go hand in hand.
How was learning that? For me, Jake, like it was like when you're learning C, I never understood C. When I was learning C, I didn't understand a piece of C. But when I started learning OOPS and C++, that's when I started appreciating C.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Because I could really see why C++ is needed, because you need the object-oriented programming, inheritance, polymorphism, and all that concept. And I was able to only appreciate C++ when I started learning Java at the time, or .NET came in later for me. But I do it. That was my national pro. How was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we just did a little bit of C, and then we kind of jumped straight into C++.
Right.
And then everything else was C++ until I took a Java class, but I kind of fell in love with C#. But, they're pretty much the same. I mean, people are going to roast me for saying that, but they're close enough.
Yeah.
But there's still plenty of C and C++ around. I haven't really touched any professionally for years.
Right.
I think I've only written one C program in my very first job when I was working for the Washington State Lottery. They had a mainframe that was mostly COBOL, but we had to integrate with a third-party vendor. They would send us these, what they called the master journal file, and they did that over a little C socket program. And they had one written, but it would crash every once in a while. So one of my very first tasks while I was at the lottery was to rewrite that so it didn't. But I think, that's about the only C I've written professionally.
Right. Speaking of Evented, I just want to bring up your website and show it to people. I mean, we'll continue our conversation, but Jake has the best view of the mountain. I'm a mountain guy. I like mountains and waters. You'll get me. Right? So Evented, EVNTD, this is the website. Go check it out. And this is the lake from Mount Hood at Trillium Lake in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. Jake might say it even better.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, Vijay.
And this is team Jake Bruun. He works with Adam Dimitrick and Martin Dilger, are all event modeling experts. And go check out evented.com. Okay. Yeah. All right. Back to our conversation. Yeah. No, we have to bring it up. Like you have the mountain there. You have a mountain on your website. We are going to bring it on Pathfinder. Sorry.
No. It's great. I need more traffic going to my website. I love the mountains too, Vijay. The mountains. I love Oregon because we have forests, mountains. The ocean is close by.
Yeah.
We got some of everything. We got high desert. And there's just so much great stuff in the state. Yeah.
Visit us. Come to Banff. Come to.
Yeah. I want to. I really do. I'm going to look you up.
Yeah. Please do. I'm like 2-3 hours from Banff, but we keep going. Like every year we have to visit at least 3-4 times. Like it's a given. So we have to go take a picture of the mountain. So that's a ritual for us, at least after we move to Alberta.
How long have you been in Alberta?
It's I used to live in Ontario. I came to Canada in 2018. I came to Alberta in 2022. It's been 3 years so far. The winters are a little colder, but it's not as bad actually as people think.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's very difficult to defend the winter because like not everyone is a fan of winters, but like it's winter, right? I used to live in Philadelphia, like not Philadelphia, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, man, before. So it's still winter there. I mean, it's still gonna snow. Yeah, it's going to be there, but winter is winter anyway.
Yeah. It's a little bit different here in Portland for winter. It pretty much just rains.
Right. It rains a lot. Okay.
From October till about May. It's just a drizzle. We might get snow once or twice, and it shuts down the whole city.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not prepared for it. Nobody knows how to handle it. If we get more than an inch, you'll just see cars parked along the interstates. People just leave them.
Wow. That's surprising because like I heard those kind of stories from Richmond, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia. That's fine because they think they're Florida, but they're not. So we get it. But like Oregon is different. Like Portland, I thought it's much up the north. It's like Minneapolis and wrong?
Yeah, I mean it's north, but we're kind of in this valley. We're close enough to the ocean that it just kind of keeps us temperate and rainy. I guess. I mean, Seattle's kind of the same way.
Got it. I see. Yeah. Okay. No, it's one of the places I have to visit. That is in my list of places to visit. So it's there.
Yeah, look me up when you come.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, let's do it. Bring back to our conversation. So you have been a technologist for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so your journey started from there and you had a natural inclination to technology. What do you think are some of the missing pieces now that you have spent long enough time into technology? What do you think are some missing pieces in the puzzle when you're delivering technology or clients? Because there is a lot of conversation or hey, no, your business process ain't right. Like, you got to do agile or you got to do event modeling, which we have spoken about. Process is one, technology stack is another, innovation is another. Cloud was a thing. Now everything is on the cloud now. AI is the current buzzword. Everyone talks about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Where do you see technology in the last 20 years? How do you see? How far have we come? And do you see a missing piece of the puzzle that still exists in the overall tech ecosystem?
Yeah. I don't know if there's a technology piece that's missing. I mean, like you said, there's been so many amazing advancements over the years. I still think we struggle communicating with each other to actually deliver the software. I mean, I've been doing it, like you said, for a long time now, about 20 years. I've been on great projects. I've been on not so great projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really boils down to how well that we can communicate with our stakeholders and the businesses that we're working for. There's still a lot of ego out there, and you got to let that go. People are saying, like, this is my code or they have a better way. I mean, software is essentially, there's infinite numbers of solutions and they all have trade-offs. So I always try and measure systems in, how do I say it? It's like eventually, everything is going to be incorrect and something's going to need to change. So try to make it work for as long as possible without change.
Trying to make it work as long as possible without change?
I mean, companies are always evolving. There's a lot of people that maybe want to make like pre-optimizations and or future proofing for things that they might never need.
Automation or optimization, more optimization, fuel
optimization. There is no perfect solution for anything, really. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say here, Vijay.
The irony is, like Jake, when you mentioned, like, I mean, not all projects are like that way, but people come together, they build a product or a service, and they protect their code as it's their own. They don't give it away. There's a lot of they build a fort around it.
Yep.
And they put it on open source on GitHub, and now ChatGPT picks it up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And the world uses it.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? That's the more ironical thing I've ever seen in the last 20 years. Microsoft was not that way. It was all like anything in a box, right? Packaging, it's boxed. It's a box product sold for like $100, whatever, right? The Windows and everything. I think the last, probably I could be wrong, but last 10 or 15 years, there's been a push for being open source and whatnot. I think that changed the whole paradigm of the Microsoft journey overall, because they were not a very open source company for a long time, right? I don't know. How do you see that? The overall,
I think it's fantastic that they've done that. I know Scott Hanselman has been a big driver of that as well. And I know he's another OIT grad, which makes me stoked. And I know he just lives, I don't know exactly where he lives in Portland, but he's another Portland guy. But I think it's been fantastic that they've open source stuff. I think open source is great. I do also understand why people have closed source products and need to, but for those big companies that are trying to go broad, I think I'm glad that they've done it.
Yeah. How do you see the tech evolving?
This is a really hard question, because now with AI, I mean, we're at a point where technology is, I guess, evolving faster and faster. So, I mean, it's hard to even predict what's going to be coming for us in the next 5 or 10 years, because my brain doesn't really think on that, exponential curve of growth. I think there's going to be amazing things for us here in the future. I guess I'm not a thought leader in that space.
Yeah,
but I've read, a lot of books by Ray Kurzweil. I don't know if you've read any of his stuff about like the singularity and stuff, but a lot of his predictions are pretty close. I mean, he made some predictions back in the 90s and around 2000 about stuff today and the next.
What's the author's name again? I'll make a note.
Ray Kurzweil.
Okay.
Yeah, you search up the singularity, you'll get some hits there. He was doing AI, a long time ago, back in like the 70s or 60s.
Right. Right.
And he's kind of has that mindset of how technology grows exponentially. So he's used that to make some pretty wild predictions.
Got it. A lot of organizations, when I'm working or reaching out, they want, hey, no, we have to do something with AI.
Yeah.
We have to enable AI in a company or in a product or a service, right? So let's go AI. Let's go full steam on AI. And what I often noticed was like they were not equipped to do AI, right? Because AI cannot function without the data underneath it. AI, it's completely reliant on the data ecosystem. And when you're not a data first company or a product, then we cannot automate things, right? So we don't have enough data points to basically learn from it, optimize it, and things like that. And that's been my observation and learning experience. Like, hey, yeah, everyone wants to do AI. Let's do. I mean, the most recent trend I'm seeing is like, okay, fine, there'll be a button or a box that says like, yeah, that's basically integrated with OpenAI, and
let's roll bird on it.
That's been a trend. I mean, there are so many companies I can see. I was talking to a person from Toronto. He's a doctor, and he had an observation. Vijay, I saw so many companies, the small and medium sized businesses, they're not leveraging data enough. They have so much. They're doing so much. Their whole business process is not optimized. I think there's something that needs to be done here. I mean, I wish there was more optimization here. I told them the same thing. Yeah, if data is not captured, it cannot be a robust thing, and sometimes that is not even their focus. That's what surprises me the most, because the small they're looking at their day-to-day operations, their monthly closures. That's what they are looking at. They're not even looking to scale, cloud. These things are not even in their conversation, in their vocabulary.
I hear you. Focus on that. They're focused on getting the next set of features out, not organizing their data and getting it prepped for what's to come. That's one of the things I love about event sourcing.
Right.
With event sourcing, you get to capture all your data as important business events. So you can kind of tell the story of your business over time, and you have full fidelity of it. If you're using that, I think it makes AI or getting set up to do AI much, much simpler.
Right. Let's dive into it. Like, what was your initial observation with event sourcing or even modeling?
I came into event sourcing a bit late. I think Greg Young started talking about it in the early aughts. So about the time that I was start picking up .NET, Greg was talking about event sourcing.
Right.
I don't think I came across it until about 10 years later, around 2014 or so, when I was working on a project where I needed to know, the interactions of a system in the terms of the business. And I needed an audit trail. And I stumbled across, I think, one of his videos at the time.
Right.
And I thought, this is just a beautiful way to design all systems.
Hmm.
And I've tried ever since then to only do that. And it's been a struggle to get businesses to say, yes, that's what we should do. But I'm still on that train, trying to get everybody to event source. And along the way, just in the last 2 years, and once again, I'm kind of behind the ball on this, is when I came across Adam Dimitrich's blog on event modeling. And when I first came across that, I was like, this is beautiful. Now I can actually explain to the business why we should use event sourcing. Because it gave a good, a way to blueprint a system that was kind of event driven or event sourced.
Right.
And I've been doing that.
Didn't mean to interrupt, but like for anyone listening,
yeah,
if you can spend 10 seconds on how do you see event sourcing, and then we can transition to how do you see event modeling. So
okay. So event sourcing, I would say, is more like the implementation piece for an event model. Event sourcing is really, instead of using traditional relational databases to be your source of truth, it's instead switching back to an older persistence model, one that we've done for millennia as humans for information systems. And that's just recording events as they occur over time. And it's quite common to do this in accounting. An accounting ledger is basically an implementation of an event source system. Building upon that, rather than just having credits and debits, anything that's important to your business can be recorded as an event with its associated data, and you just keep a ever-growing list of all of those important things. And then you can derive new important information or create new models to drive new features. Yeah, just from this
history
log of what has happened.
What happened, yeah, right. And that's the thing also when we are even modeling, isn't it? It's always an event that occurred already, that already happened.
Yeah, that's how we model it. We start modeling with the events, and we try and build a story of like, these are the important events that would have occurred in your system. And you kind of build a timeline or a story of what your business does.
Right.
And we can, connect in interface mock-ups, to give the visual learners a way for them to like see what the system would potentially look like. And then you can look up commands between and models to kind of show what we need to derive from the events, or what are the actions that the system needs to do.
Right. For anyone listening, not many might know, Jake is also a fan of like brewery, and he has passion to set up a brewing company, hopefully in the future very soon.
I do.
Very soon. So when we met in the first ever unconference, event modeling unconference in Vancouver, shout out to Adam Dimitrich, and shout out to Aryan, who also helped us create a brewery from start to finish.
Yes.
Probably under 20 minutes. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it was really fast.
So like less than 30 minutes, right? So we were able to set up. So even modeling is not just a technology term. Like that's what I that fascinated me actually. I mean, it's not only for software. It can be applied as a concept to any business that exists, or any process that you want to create. Right. And if you can do it for brewery, I think you can pretty much do it for anything, right? Even if you're flying a plane or even like a rocket, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
any process, you can describe it with event modeling.
Yeah. How does it change? I mean, because there's a lot of concepts, Jake. I'm sure you've come across agile and waterfall, the famous waterfall.
Sure.
And like, how do you see even modeling
Honestly, I think event modeling is a lot closer to the original Agile manifesto than a lot of the current processes that I see out in the wild claiming that they're agile. A lot of it is really a lot of what we do out in business world is really just a way for other software companies to sell their tooling. For instance, there's a big Australian company that has a lot of market share in space, and their tooling is used by so many people, and they promote, Kanban or Scrum.
Yeah.
But really, there's a flexible tool, and that's what they're trying to sell.
Hold on. Are you Scrum Master certified already or no?
I'm not. I've been in enough Scrum teams.
That's not acceptable. I mean, like it's really fascinating. Not fascinating. It's really funny because like everyone out there, especially on LinkedIn, I'm Scrum Master certified. I mean, I've nothing against Agile or Scrum or anything like that, but the whole, like you mentioned, the initial version of Agile manifesto has now turned into something else altogether. It has become a management lingo, if you will.
Mhm.
The essence of the manifestos doesn't seem to be there anymore.
Right.
Well, I'm not against merchandising or commercializing it. It's okay. Yeah, you don't have to be certified or...
No, I've never gotten certified. I've never read a Scrum book.
Doesn't mean anything.
Maybe I'm not even doing it right. Maybe that's why I don't do it well.
Yeah, because like some of these product owners, like in some of the teams, right, and they come fresh from the industry. They know the industry really well, and they're domain experts, and they sometimes become to be product owners, and they have never heard the term Agile or Scrum or anything like that. Like I've coached these people. Like I'm not certified on any of this. Like on Scrum. I'm not taking anything to my credit, but I would have to sit in meetings with them, and they'd ask me, "Vijay, what's this? What's system? What is this backlog? I haven't created that Excel sheet. What is it?" And like, and I haven't done a sprint planning. What is this planning thing? These are like, I mean, once you do it a few times, you get a hang of it. It's like, it's more common sense. Well, so is event modeling. Event modeling is extremely common sense. I mean, like,
I agree.
If you can connect the dots,
it's everything in one place too. So you're not hopping around from this screen to this screen. What's the hierarchy of this epic to story to task? It's just all right there. You have everything you need. It's clean. It's clear.
Yeah. And if anyone is hearing, I mean, like, I think something that I really find interesting about event modeling is it's not intimidating. Because whether you're a technologist or or if you're a non-technologist, you're a business person, because sometimes Scrum or other waterfall or other terms can come across as intimidating. So it doesn't have to be that way. It sits in one place, so all teams can come together and look at this one diagram, the event modeling diagram, and navigate with it.
It's got everything you need. I mean, it's got the full information flow of the system. There's spots to do behavior-driven tests.
Right.
You can even layer on top your project management stuff right on top of it to know like where you are in the implementation.
Right. Yeah. Is there a funny moment from your last 2 decades of experience or more? You want to bring it to our conversation? Hey, Vijay, this is what happened.
A funny moment.
I'm sure there are a ton of them.
A funny moment that is good.
Favorite technologist moment, if you will.
Man, I'm sure I do. I'm being put on the spot here.
No, don't worry about it. It could be something like even about a features something that you built, or something about a concept that you wanted to propose, but they understood much later in time. It could be anything. It could be anything that you found fascinating and funny to even comment on it.
Man. Well, some of my favorite things are just reading through other people's code bases to see what comments they leave behind. Right. I can't think of anything specifically that's funny, but I've seen some great comments in there. Shoot.
No, that's Vijay. Well, are you a fan of inline commenting?
I mean, it depends. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I guess it really depends on the complexity. Or if I'm struggling myself with a chunk of code, I might document it for myself.
Yeah. Let me rephrase the question for you. I mean, for anyone building software, right? I mean, I'll tell what my experience was after you comment. So you're maintaining a product, or a service, right? That has like millions of lines of code, and there's a piece of functionality that keeps breaking over and over again. I just trying to get your thoughts on this. Like, so would you recreate it from scratch, or would you keep fixing the bugs for it? My experience has been different, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
That's a tough one. Like if it's in my younger years, I ultimately would have just wanted to do the rewrite.
Right.
Regardless of what risk it took to the project when I was younger, yeah, no problem.
Right.
Let's just rewrite. Let's spend the next weekend hacking this out and fixing it. Ultimately, that might have made a bigger mess.
Yeah.
I feel like as I've aged, I think about risk a little bit more. Oh, I probably wouldn't just go after it and fix it anymore. I'd probably try and do something a little bit more thoughtful. And just speaking of that, it just made me think of it's not in my professional career, but during college, in one of my labs, I believe it was a data structures class. We had to, I think, data AVL tree. That's a self-balancing tree. Right. And I struggled with that lab for some reason. But I was having such a hard time with it that I put some explicit comments in my lab project.
Right.
But finally, I finished it and I wrapped it up and uploaded it to turn it in. And then about a week and a half later, the professor wanted to see me in his office. And I wasn't sure why. Like,
right.
Weird.
Yeah.
He brings me in and he's like, hey, look at this line of code. And it was just F this, F that.
Yeah.
So he gave me my first lesson about having some professionalism.
Yeah.
But he was nice about it and told me just don't do it again. Don't do this in the future.
Something, I know the one thing that I did crazy, something like that. I didn't put any F-bombs in it, but there was a bug that we were dealing with that kept coming over and over and over again over 2 months.
Yeah.
Right? There was a bug, a nagging bug. I mean, a certain piece of automation wasn't expecting the way we wanted it to work, right? Because it's a proprietary software. I cannot say what it is.
Sure.
But I could talk about the comment I made with the code. It was nagging, and I was sitting in the office at 2 a.m., right? It wasn't working at all because this is the weekend. We got to solve it. Monday, we had to share an update with the client. So it was the week. So it was 2 a.m. And my friend and I, we took a walk, and we had a like a pop, not a drink. When I say drink, the meaning changes completely. So it was like a soft drink. So we put the name of the drink. It's called Bovonto. So we called it the Bovonto Fix. And actually, after we had the soft drink and made the fix, it started working, and it never came back again.
Nice.
So we called the fix called Bovonto Fix, and it never came back again. It worked beautifully. So I remember that. Oh man, yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah,
amazing. To that question that I asked about like maintaining versus rewriting.
Yeah.
Some of my experience has been mixed in terms of I've spent numerous days trying to fix millions of lines of code, not like thousands of lines of code, maybe sometimes. And what I found sometimes is some of these projects that I haven't built or someone has designed like years ago, maybe it wasn't built right in some cases, but the design wasn't right. I mean, I'm sure like even modeling can help into a lot of even modeling wasn't there, or I never came across it at the time. It wasn't designed well, or probably not like well documented or well programmed. And some of that product, which is already in the customer's shoes and we're trying to maintain it, it was a pain in the ass, man, I'm telling you, because we cannot rewrite the whole thing. You got to maintain it because there are like 100 customers already using it. And these are global products, by the way. And it is really challenging. You got to change a DLO. You got to be so careful, right? So I have to maintain it, even though it doesn't work. So I wish I could just rewrite the whole library and then ship it. I've done it sometimes without telling, but like I've done it. Some of these classes and methods, I just rewrite them, spend a night, and then So it's really challenging sometimes when you come across.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally agree. And like I was saying before, like with managing risk, a lot of what I've been doing the last 5-6 years has been consulting work. So, we have a well-defined SOW, and we might know that this piece of code is like really crappy, but it's not in our statement of work to go fix, even though we could really improve it. Sometimes it's just not contractually for us.
It brings me to this thought. Adam Dimitrek, I don't remember if he said it. He might have said it. He has been a guest on the show for a couple of times.
Yeah.
He mentioned, I mean, don't quote me on this, anyone. And somewhere he mentioned like the bug fixes are free.
Yes.
Right. Speak to that, if you will, Jake, because it cannot be part of the statement of work, and sometimes it could be a lot, and it could cost time, money, and everything. Like,
yeah.
Speak to the bug fixes are free comment. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that as well at Evented, especially I do that with anything that has been event modeled. And the reason why is because when you event model a system, the actual implementation becomes so simple. So if a bug does slip through, they're quite simple to fix. I mean, I'm not going to give a free bug fix, which ultimately means a whole new feature being built out that was forgotten. But bug fixes in event-sourced, event-modeled systems are trivial. That's why I believe that they can be done for free. On an ancient code base that you didn't write yourself, I personally couldn't offer free bug fixes for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just switching gears a little bit in terms of like overall, when you spend a lot of time in technology or in life or otherwise, how do you see the whole purpose of not just being a technologist, but being an entrepreneur? How do you see life taking shape, and what are some of the best lessons learned in the last 20, 30 years for yourself, right? I mean, had you known something, 10 years ago, had you known something 20 years ago, wow, that would have been great.
Yeah, in the early days, I wanted to be the best at coding. I'm sure I had an ego when I was younger. Letting go of that and just having fun with what I do, regardless of how, I don't know, crappy the project is or fun, or if it's an old technology, new technology. I just honestly try to have fun and make it fun to the teams that I work on. I just want everybody to have a good time, because ultimately none of this is really that serious. I mean, people might get serious about it. They might have millions of dollars on the line, but when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, none of this really matters that much. So why not have a good time while we're here and just do your best work? That's your I've heard this term. It's not like be good, do good. That's what you. Yeah,
I'm sure you've heard it too. I mean, when you're on a growth phase, when you want to grow, when you're in a mastery phase, and you've seen life, and you've seen beautiful mountains already. So how do you put yourself on a growth pedestal and then grow consistently? That's the path. Like, I mean, the reason we call Pathfinders is because everyone is on their own path, right? This is sometimes it's uncharted territory. You make your decisions most of the time, and some may be good, some may be bad. You learn from them and then keep moving on. So what is something that you learned along your path?
Okay.
In terms of the growth.
Well,
you have to grow consistently. Yeah.
Speaking about growth and like having the growth mindset, like I think I've always kind of been this way. I don't know. I don't really accept failures, not in that I don't fail, but I always think of failures as a lesson, and I learned something from that. I know that's a common thing, but I've always kind of done that growing up. I love to learn, and I know that I will make mistakes, but I don't ever see them that way. It's like if somebody says I screwed up on something, well, I learned not to do that thing in the future.
Right.
But yeah, I try and stay hungry and learn new technologies as they come out. I wouldn't say I'm like deep into AI like a lot of other people is. I'm interested in it. I'm using it to definitely accelerate my own work, but I'm not like trying to come up with new ways to advance LLMs and things like that.
Got it. No, there's no right answer, right?
Okay.
It's like how do you see things? And I'm on the journey of like technologist, yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe I've grown old. I'm 40 years old right now. I started to appreciate the people better because when I was in corporate life myself, Jake, and like it was all about, oh, everyone was running a race. And you have heard the term like climb the ladder and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did climb the ladder, and I think I got good at what I was doing.
Mhm.
And I did climb the ladder. And recently, and in last several years, I've spoken to some of the VPs and the directors and the CEOs. Some of them are not really happy, actually. Their life is totally messed up. That's what I understood. And what I've understood is like, because one is the whole lifestyle. It's kind of their golden handcuff for themselves, right? You have these inflated mansions or whatnot, or a couple BMW. I'm not against any of these cars or mansions. Again, great material things, but it becomes a golden handcuff for that, the lifestyle itself. And I made it. I informed myself, no, I don't want to be in that place, resenting after like in my 58 years old, and I don't want to resent that, and I don't want to regret. So
I'm with you, bud. I'm with you.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I don't like climbing the corporate ladder. I did it for a while and I was also good at it. You know, I moved up quickly.
right,
I remember because when I first started my career, I was like, I want to be a software architect. That's the only
right.
thing I want to be. I want to be a software architect. The day I turned into a software architect, I was like, okay, now what? It was not, it, it just was, it was, I guess, lackluster, I guess. I mean, I achieved the goal, so that felt good, but yeah, there was, and I'm kind of like, I feel the same way. Like, I don't need to make $1 million or $1 billion to be successful. I just want to put food on the table for my family and maybe retire a little bit early. You know,
Right.
I'm not trying to be the next Elon or Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or Warren Buffett.
Right. It's then that corporate world. I came out of the corporate. I mean, came out in the sense like I was not like an employee for a while now, and then I started reaching out to the business community. The business community was totally different, right? When I came to the city, Jake, like I didn't know anyone in Edmonton, right? Not a single person. I didn't know a single person, except I knew it was cold. That's the only thing I knew. And I started showing up to these different meetings and met so many amazing people.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, because some of the people are like really amazing people, but like I cannot help them. But I try and share their posts or do something like that because some of them are like they're like therapists making soap and things like that. They're good friends,
Yeah.
right? And some of the best humblest people I've ever met. And they were really welcoming. And I think the only thing I did is showed up with good intent. And I think they kind of like reciprocated that back.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. And it was a world of difference from coming from corporate, because corporate is very different, right? I mean, like, yeah, your appraisal, your annual appraisal, your performance bonus, and everything's connected to the incentive. And it's like, right? So when I started not expecting anything from people and I just showed up, that changed actually the whole thing. And I'm still figuring it out. I'm not saying I have all the ansers.
Yeah. Just be a friend. Just be there for people. Just have a good. That's probably why we connected so quickly.
Yeah.
At the conference, I feel like we have that same kind of mentality. I just want to meet people and have a good time. And if I can help them, great. Let's just have a good time together for the short time.
And if you can also brew a beer and have it, that's even fantastic.
I've made so many friends that way. I remember brewing some beer outside of my previous house. And I'd do it in my garage. I'd open up the garage door and I'd be out there for hours. So many people taking walks with their dogs or just walking with their family. They'd always be interested and they'd stop by, and I've made hundreds of friends just by brewing beer in my garage.
Yeah, I have to learn the technology from a technologist, Jake. Please teach me how to make beer. I don't know.
I'd love to. It's a good time. And I need a lot of help cleaning everything.
Yeah, so I have no idea how you make it. I haven't put my mind to it, but I want to. I've always wanted to. When I used to drink a lot of beer, I don't drink as much beer, but I love beer.
Yeah.
I always wanted to have a home setup of like, okay, what if we brewed this even fresher?
Uh-huh.
Right? I think once you start drinking homemade beer, you cannot drink store bought. I think. Is it the case? No, no, not really.
I still I still like to drink plenty of store bought stuff just because it's it's convenient.
Right.
I totally agree with what you're saying. When I was brewing a lot more, I wouldn't buy any beer. And actually, that's why I started. I actually started brewing beer when I was in college. I had a part-time job at a bike shop. And this was kind of a eclectic bike shop, you could say. Because we'd also sell skateboarding equipment, and we sold hockey equipment, and there was a brewery. We sold brewery equipment at this bike shop.
Right.
But my boss, he was the only one who knew how to brew. He was the owner of this business. So he said, "Hey, Jake, here, I'm going to give you this brewing starter kit and this book. I want you to learn it so that you can sell all this brewing equipment and ingredients that we had."
Right.
And that's kind of how I got into it. And then I quickly found other people in the area that were brewing, and I learned from them, entered some competitions, got some nasty feedback, tried to make it better.
Right.
And then, I just kept going on to it. And then it was kind of a passion there for many years. And now I have a huge amount of brewing equipment, and it's almost like just a little, you could almost call it a nano brewery, really. All professional grade equipment.
Right.
It just takes a lot of time to clean.
Yeah. Okay.
But the end result is fantastic.
Right. Right. We need some robotics there to do the
And actually, I have pumps, and I do have a microcontroller hooked up that controls like my propane burner. It uses solenoid to turn on the gas and automatically ignite certain kettles at certain times. So I do have some automation in place.
Got it.
I just need something to go in there and scrub everything at the end automatically.
This is so fascinating.
Yeah.
My friends
that have a farm, so I have like all this extra grain at the end of my brewing process. I take it out and I feed their chickens. So
in I think what was it? I think 2019, I believe, like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
My friend, he's not a software developer, but he's from a software testing background.
Yeah.
He was he's an and he still does tech, but he was literally like exhausted with this whole quote unquote corporate stuff, and he and I connected, and he's from India too, but he said like, "Vijay, what's going on? These guys," and like, and he said like, let's do something, and like we started with the logistics thing. Right? Something I never expected to even venture into, right? It was not my expertise or anything. And we thought we'll do some transportation between Canada and the United States, because there was no riff, like, and no problem at the time.
No problem.
Even now, it's still okay. I mean, good thing I look at US, Canada is one of the best friendly countries in the world still.
Definitely, I agree. I love everybody I've met from Canada.
Yeah. And we used to take goods from Canada, deliver in US, and pick it up back from US and deliver back in Canada. That is something we never thought we would. We thought, okay, fine, let's hire a team of drivers, and we'll create a pool of drivers, and we'll plan it out, and then let's schedule them. I mean, we are all in planning, right? Like project management, planning, architecture. That's how the brain thinks. And we thought beautifully, and luckily, or like unfortunately, the finances didn't support that kind of ecosystem yet, because that can happen probably if we spend 5 years into the business. We ended up driving the vans. Right? So we bought a full-fledged, like a Mercedes, the long vans you might have seen. It's not a truck, but like a long and long chassis van. It is totally different, right? Nothing to do with software.
Oh, that sounds fun. I had an uncle that was a long haul trucker. He's full of stories. I'm sure you have some good stories from that as well.
There was once, I mean, it is risky in the sense not driving as a risk, but you're not sleeping as much. That was one risk. But there was one journey that I had to do, is like I had to pick up something from Toronto and drop in Texas at the border of Mexico, Laredo, Texas, right?
Yeah.
It was a long 3-day journey. I had to do it myself alone. Man, it was, I did it for about a good 5-6 months, but I learned a lot. How it works.
I'm sure you met a lot of interesting people along the way too.
I met a lot of interesting people. It made me more. I think I don't know what's the right word. I don't know. Humble is the right word. It's overused, but it did humble me down in terms of like, because I was in a cloud nine sitting. Oh yeah, there's no food. Okay, let's do Uber Eats. Let's call an Uber, right? Because you're sitting in a laptop, you think that's how the world works, and when you go really talk to people, that's not how the world works, right? Because people don't give a shit. Actually, that's that's what I found out, and I think that was learning experience for me, really, in terms of like how actually humanity works, how people work. And there was once an incident. Hey driver, go park the vehicle there. Someone said it actually. That was really humbling, because like I've spent like my career, I've spent like Deloitte and Enbridge and so many wonderful like multinational companies. And you know the salaries, right? Beautiful salary. And like going through that was oh no, I didn't even think about bringing this topic, but it was a very humbling experience, I can tell.
I can imagine.
After that, I think that helped me to probably build Zadwell, and like, okay, fine. Then one day we decided, no, we have family and this is going to be a risk. If you're driving nonstop without enough sleep, we might, even the best drivers can get into an accident and things like. So we didn't want to do that. So we stopped it, sold the van, and then never looked back. But it was a learning experience. Never even planned to bring that today, but it happened. So
that's awesome.
Sorry.
No, that's fantastic here. And I haven't really done, I mean, since I started in technology and software development, I haven't really taken a break to do something else. But I find that intriguing, because there's times that I've definitely felt like I just need to take a pause and do something else for a while. And it's often been like, hey, maybe I'll just go, sling some pizzas over at a local restaurant or something. But ultimately, I haven't.
Right. No, I think the more I think about it, I've spent like it's going to be 20 years in the industry, 23 if I include my studies and everything. So what I understand, I don't think software is a problem, right? Software can be good or bad, right? But similarly, I think the overall ecosystem that's being created around it with the companies and the corporation, things like that, I think somewhere along the way, if the intention of the company or something is not set right, that kind of reflects to the person, to the employee, to the everyday grind. I think that's what happens. Because he works in Zadwell, my friend. He's from Latin America. He and I both worked in Honeywell previously, and he said to me something like, Vijay, at one point I realized that I became a number in a spreadsheet. I didn't want to do that anymore, right? So that is a problem. He spent 28 years, right? He's 50, mid-50s, something. Beautiful guy. He doesn't speak a word of English, by the way. He speaks Spanish, but we connect so well because his daughter translates, and back and forth. She speaks English. But he said that, right? He's 58, I think, 58 years old. He said, like, the moment I realized that I don't want to be a number in a spreadsheet, I chose not to do it anymore. And I think that's a problem, because you cannot be a number in a spreadsheet. You're more than that. And I think when people are appreciated and valued, I think, and often listen and just asking, like, how are you doing today? That's enough. That takes people going, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I feel like I've been pretty lucky, because even when I was in corporations, at least in the groups I was in, they were a bit smaller corporations, felt, wanted and loved. But ultimately, I know, we had probably private equity that owned us. And to them, I was just a number in the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Cancel the thumbs up. So I'm not
and it's definitely more apparent, especially recently, with all these major companies doing giant riffs across the board. Intel, maybe I shouldn't say that, but like Intel is big in the Portland area. And every few years they lay off a huge number of people, and it affects a lot of people that I know.
Right.
It's always sad to see.
Yeah. Let's segue into a different thing, since we are in the technology, and AI is a big piece of the puzzle right now. Let me share the screen. And this section, Jake, is like I'd invite people to make a request, and AI would draw something for us. And and we'll have a question around it. Sorry, Matt. Voice is cutting up.
Sure.
So please, if you can share your request, we'll request Grok and see what it comes up with.
Let's have Grok draw a skateboarder eating some pizza. Skater. We'll see if they do a skateboarder or somebody on roller skates. We'll see.
Skateboarder eating pizza. Yeah, good.
Sure.
Tell me, skateboarder eating a pizza. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. It does good. I mean, it tries to come up with something interesting every time. It blows me away how I haven't tried the videos as much.
Oh, I haven't tried any of that. No.
Yeah. Hey. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping that maybe he'd be doing a trick while he's eating.
Look, this is a funny one. Look at this.
That guy,
he's midair.
Squat.
He's midair. See there, yeah. That.
Yeah. Most of the AI use I've been doing is just to quickly generate scripts that I need for one-off tasks. Linux style, like little bash scripts.
Right. I mean, the question that comes to mind when I look at this picture is like skateboarders. I mean, they're all trying to the race and speed and whatnot. Like how important is speed and performance knowledge of technology and what? Yeah, I think that is the question. And if we can tie it up with even modeling and even TED, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, well, I'll try. Speed and performance in technology, I think it's important depending on the use case. In terms of event sourcing and event modeling, there's often times where we feel or businesses feel like they need immediate consistency, like things need to be updated in the database and all systems need to reflect that at the exact same time. But in reality, that's not true. Humans are much slower, so there is plenty of room for eventual consistency, which is kind of fallout from using event sourcing. And by using event modeling, you can kind of architect or blueprint your system, and you can see where, like if when this command happens and the system changes state, that might not need to be reflected in downstream processes for maybe even minutes, hours, days, weeks. So there are definitely systems where you need speed and performance. I'm sure some of those systems like they shoot up the rockets into space or catch them.
Right.
That's different. But most business processes, not really that. Is my opinion.
That's good. No, I wanted to do something fun and also try to connect it back with what we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's great. So we almost come close to the close.
Is it already?
I could talk for another 2 hours. I had no problem. But I had some rapid fire fun questions just to get to know you a little bit more. This is fun, Jake. We should probably do one more again. Like, I enjoyed the conversation. It was authentic. It was personal. It was deep. I felt like I was talking to myself. So sorry, but you were such a wonderful guest.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Vijay.
Yeah, and so here's some rapid fire questions. So one word that describes Jake.
Can I say 2 words?
Maybe 2 words is fine.
Chaotic good.
Good. It's you bringing like salt and pepper, like together. Good.
Yeah.
Nice. So are you like an early bird or a night owl?
Night owl, definitely.
Night owl. Okay. Coffee or a tea person?
Coffee.
I'm
Too much
coffee too. Too much coffee. Yeah. What would be your favorite coding tool and favorite coding language?
Ooh. Favorite? Probably F#. Tool. Ooh.
VS Code or?
I just switched over to JetBrains Writer. And I'm really liking that.
Right.
But tool, I guess I would say Bash.
Scripting, Bash scripts.
Yeah, I mean, so many things have already been built, and it's all there. So
Yeah. But what do you consider as the most like underrated tool or a technology stack or whatever, right? Hey, I wish more people use this.
I don't know
Say it again.
underrated, but I've
Say it again.
been learning Elixir and the Beam VM, and that is super powerful. And I wish more people used it because you can do amazing things with it, and it's an awesome platform.
Right. Elixir. I haven't tried it. I have to check it out.
Yeah.
Is there a book that you would recommend to any technologist or software engineer getting into, or is there a favorite book? You have it? Understanding Event Sourcing by Martin Dilger.
Yeah.
Forward written by Adam Dimitrich. We did a special for the book. No. Yeah, it's on LeanPub, right?
Yep, it's on LeanPub. Yeah, I think it's still selling really well. I don't know if it's number one in the top of the chart still, but yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still writing new chapters. I think he just published one earlier this week.
I got the email. From LeanPub, I got the notification. Go check out Understanding Event Sourcing. Yeah, that's a great book. Martin Dilger is fantastic. He's good.
He really is. Super nice guy.
Yeah. So when you're deep writing code or developing something, like what's your like favorite playlist? What tracks are you listening? Or when you're making beer, doesn't matter.
I love music. I love almost any style of music. When I'm coding late at night, it's generally going to be Radiohead that I'm listening to, or a little bit harder, like Tool or A Perfect Circle.
There you go. Interesting. What would you prefer? Like, are you like I kind of know the answer, but still I would ask, like mountains, beaches, or cities?
Ooh, mountains.
Mountains. Yeah, I kind of knew that. What was that one thing that blew your mind in technology? I mean, of course, maybe we'll make an exception. Even modeling is an exception.
Sure.
We all kind of like agree that.
Yeah.
But what is that like blew your mind in the last like 20 years? Wow.
In the last 20 years, that blew my mind was the explosion of Bitcoin. Actually, that blew my mind because I had a friend before it was even a thing, when it was like he had thousands of Bitcoins. And he was saying, you should do this. And I was like, silly. And then a couple of years later, he sold, and it was still low compared to where it is now. I think he sold at $15K, which blew my mind. And he paid off his student loan, his wife's student loan. They paid off their house.
Wow. I didn't know you were on this Bitcoin treadmill, but hold on, I have a video for that. Let me play that video. Bitcoin is a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm always behind the ball. Always.
Let me play this video for you. I love this clip. I kept it so I played to some of the guests. Some are Bitcoiners, some are not. But I try to bring this conversation. Blew me away as well. But your thoughts on it?
I think that's true, but I don't know if that actually came to fruition because anytime I do any transactions, they seem to be just this big, if not bigger, than what our traditional banking system does. So I don't know. What did it get us?
What did it get us? Like Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what did it get us? Interesting.
I mean, like for instance, I have a little bit of Bitcoin, not even one, fractions of one.
Got it.
And I have some Ethereum, fractions of Ethereum. But anytime I want to do a transaction, maybe I'm just not doing it at the right time, but it's going to be like equivalent or 50 or $60 to do a transaction on Ethereum network.
Right.
And that's wild. I thought it was supposed to be the opposite, where it was like almost free.
Yeah. So, I mean, like there are a few other networks like Arbitrum and Binance, which are Binance. Binance and a few other networks which are cheaper. Polygon, I think that's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're doing it on the centralized exchanges, my learning experience, like when we do it on centralized exchanges like Coinbase and Crypto.com and these, they are actually making a profit on every transaction. Whether you withdraw, deposit, or send to someone, that's what it is.
So kind of like
if you're doing it on a
card or any of the other ones in the traditional banking system. Yeah.
Traditional banking system has evolved. It's so convenient, but it's it's like the trustless, I think, society that we're trying to create, which is taking it's the only thing that fascinates me, Jake. I mean, long story short, the one thing that fascinates me about not even Ethereum, right? Not even Binance, because Binance has a CEO. Ethereum kind of does, like is there, but not there kind of thing. But all these other chains has kind of a, but Bitcoin is like, we don't even know who that guy is, and Nakamoto. Yeah, who's yeah, that's a question in everyone's mind. There is no CEO.
Yeah.
There's no corporation.
Yeah.
And it's just a network effect, right? Yeah. It's just a nodes worldwide running. You cannot stop it. That fascinates me. And it's like currently sitting at $2 trillion or something. That fascinates me.
Yeah.
And something profound, I found it profound, that Michael Saylor said, and he's a huge maxi Bitcoiner, and he said, like, into 2013, he said, like, Bitcoin is going to zero. He tweeted that sometime. He said, like, 2013, it's going to zero. Right around 2019, pre-COVID, he started buying Bitcoin. And when he said it's going to zero, the price of Bitcoin was $900 a Bitcoin.
Uh-huh.
In 2019, when he started buying, the price of one Bitcoin was $9,000 at the time. And it was like, what, 10 times from $900.
Yeah.
And he said something like, everyone deserves a price for Bitcoin. So what was $9,000 is now, it has already crossed $90,000. You and I both know it.
The last time I looked, it was like 108 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. It's crazy.
100 plus. And he's so bullish on it. And he says, like, what is 90 or 100 now? It'll definitely go to 900,000 and 9 million. And it's not going to stop. That's his.
Sure.
He's bullish on it. That's his thing. Not everyone is on the same camp as Saylor.
But if I had $1 million to throw into it, I probably would.
But it never occurred to me why someone came with such a concept.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a very fascinating concept.
Yeah.
Right. I've created distributed systems, used it, right, but never looked at the way the creator actually created it. Right. It's distributed. It can run by itself. It can manage itself. It can confirm itself. Right. It can add to the ledger. And that could be a currency of its own, like, and you call it Bitcoin. So that's, I found it, like, it blew my mind too.
Yeah, it's an amazing technology. I do think it's funny because, like, everybody wants to, as we were saying earlier, everybody wants to put AI into their systems. 10 years ago, everybody wanted to do everything on the blockchain.
Yeah.
I just like those ebbs and flows.
Yeah. Good. No, I had this, like, funny clip. That's like, oh, what is this system? and on the contrary, the banking system, I'm not, like, I've worked with so many banks and, like, I've helped them move to cloud and things like that. I think the users of the banks, the creator of these, like, whole systems is, like, I think they didn't think that long enough, right? I mean, because, like what is $10 worth, and if it suddenly becomes like $100, right? And money inflates, right? Because how do you grow the economy without inflation? I don't think people have an answer to that question.
I'm no economist. So
so that's it fascinates me every time I think about it. All right, getting back to your rapid fire.
Sure.
Sorry, we took a segue from there.
Uh-huh.
So what is the best leadership advice you've ever received or you want to share with anyone?
Best leadership advice?
Because I'm sure you're working with teams and people look up to you, and there are a lot of, like, misconceptions and things like that. And how can...
Be kind.
Right. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Be kind, right? Yeah. Beautiful. I love that. It's rarely it comes across as a leadership advice, because leaders, there's a lot of, like, it's become a cliche word. I'm a leader, XYZ, right? So anyway, that's good. I love that. If you weren't in tech, what would you be actually doing if you weren't in tech?
If I wasn't in tech, well, I'd be brewing beer. I'd be a brewer. Yeah, I'd have a brewery, making lots of beer.
There you go. What's one question? This is probably the last question. What's one question you wish more people asked you?
I wish when you meet a person, rather than what do you do, like work-wise, I'd rather somebody ask me, what do you love to do? I mean, I do love software. I'll admit that. And that's why I'm still in it. But I'd rather talk about, as I've said before, brewing beer, skateboarding, making pizza, playing board games. I find learning the things that people love to do outside of work way more fascinating than how they actually make money.
Got it. No, I love it. Jake, where can people find you? Best place to reach out?
The best way to reach out to me would be on LinkedIn. I am on YouTube, but I haven't done anything on YouTube for a bit. I'm planning to get back to that. But yeah, LinkedIn is the best place to get a hold of me.
Jake, Bruun, it was an absolute pleasure to sit down with you, my friend. Since our event modeling conference, we have been in touch, and it's good to re-engage and connect back and do this show with you. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Absolutely.
So did I, Vijay. Thank you for having me on. I loved chatting with you, buddy.
Likewise. Take care, buddy.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.